everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of the show. Today we're talking about my Joelanta 2025 haul and just my general thoughts on Joelanta 2025. Now, Joelanta 2025 was probably my favorite time at a convention. Why? Was it because of all the great deals? Well, there were a few good deals to be had there, but mostly it was because of the friends that I made, the people that I met, the networking that was done, the opportunities that are there to be had. It was just a fantastic time. Now, Joelanta was in a bigger room this year, and it's probably a little bit bigger than what it was last year. I really can't remember all that well the sizing of the rooms. It seemed bigger. It was in the ballroom of the Gas South Convention Center this year, and it wasn't. It was in one of the auditorium style rooms last year. So it seemed a little bit bigger and there was more space. Now, this is not like Toylanta. Toylanta is big, a lot bigger than what we have at Joelanta. Joelanta's smaller. It's more G.I. Joe centric, or at least it's supposed to be, but there's lots of great toy vendors there. There's lots of great toy companies, indie toy companies, just some fantastic toys on display. But enough of that for now. Let's get into the haul, and man, was my haul massive this year. Now, to start it off, my goal was to go, as always, finding superpowers, because I'm trying to complete my superpowers collection, right? Maybe even some Marvel Secret War stuff from Mattel, although I didn't find as much of that this year, and unfortunately I didn't find any superpowers. I found one. I found a Wonder Woman, because I do need Wonder Woman. But at $90, she did come with the lasso, the original one. I'm just not prepared to pay $90 for a Wonder Woman. And this one was in good condition, but I think I can hold out and get one for, half that price. But unfortunately, there were no vintage toys for me to buy this year. There was a ton of vintage toys on, for sale, just nothing that piqued my interest. And part of that is because of one of the vendors that I stumbled upon who still was putting stuff out when I went in there. He hadn't completed his booth by any means. His deals were just too good to pass up. So let's start by taking a look at what I purchased. So first up, he had a $5 bin, and of course, there are quite a few of these DC Multiverse figures that I just don't have for whatever reason. Did I not want it to begin with? Did I have it, sold it, whatever? I don't have this one. And this one was in the $5 bin. Yeah, you could probably get this guy on Amazon.com for a little less than 10 bucks, but not 5. And you may have to pay shipping on that. I didn't. I got this guy for 5 bucks. Another $5 figure was this Tim Drake Robin. This is not my favorite Robin, right? By any means, Tim Drake is not my favorite Robin. He's probably my least favorite Robin. But at $5, this costume, this bright red and yellow really pops. Had to have it. This Batman Superman fusion, $5. Yeah, okay. Now, as you may see, there may be some scuffs and some dents in the boxes a little bit. I don't care. I'm pulling them out of the box. They're going on the shelf, so it really doesn't matter to me. $5, can't pass that up. This next one is really gonna make you mad. $5. Yep, you got it. The Flash with the Cyborg Build-A-Figure pieces, $5. He had 3 of these guys. If I was smart, I would have picked up all 3, but, I left them for somebody else. I mean, the deals were too good. I want everybody to experience some of that. And for, like I said, $5, this typically goes, 80 bucks on eBay? And, I don't have this one, so yeah, I'm going to pick it up. All right, Kid Flash. I didn't have this guy either. And again, a $5 bin deal. You should have really been at Joelanta. You should have really come to Joelanta. I wish I could remember this guy's name. He didn't have like a name on his booth. Like most people have the name of their store. I don't think this guy has a store. If he did, I didn't see it anywhere on his booth. I think he was just a guy with a lot of DC stuff, and he was looking to get rid of it. Another $5 figure. This was King Kordax from the Aquaman film. He was never anything that I was going to buy, but at $5, I'm going to pick him up. And the last $5 figure that I bought was this guy. Yep, you guessed it. Dick Grayson Robin for $5. Now, I used to have this figure. Actually, if you go back, I reviewed him one time, but I sold him. I don't really like the figure all that great. The head looks awesome. The body is the Dark Knight Returns Carrie Kelly body, and that body is sort of nasty. So that's why I don't really like it, but I kind of regretted selling it. I found it for $5, so yay me. Now we're gonna get a little more expensive. Like, I picked this guy up for 10, this Batman. I don't have this particular version of Batman. I do have this particular body buck in different releases, just not this Batman. And for 10, I'm gonna buy that because I don't think that's a bad deal for this Batman. I mean, he's a very, good looking Batman. And if you need to, you could swap heads or whatever to make him look even better. Another $10 steal was this Two-Face. I was very much looking forward to getting this Two-Face, just never got around to doing it. And I'm glad I held off. I've had the opportunity to buy him a few times at GameStop, but I just couldn't pull the trigger on the $24.99. And I'm glad I waited because I got him for 10. So I paid a little more for this guy. This guy I paid $20 for. And I don't have this Clock King. I wanted this Clock King very much so. I couldn't find him anywhere. I missed out on the pre-order. I wanted him. I didn't want the Platinum. I wanted this version. And for 20, I said, let's do this. And the very first thing I saw when I went into this guy's booth was this figure that I never thought I would own. I don't know if he was short packed or what. You can get the Platinum all day long, and the Platinum will run you about $40. But the regular version, the regular release, is just hardly he's nowhere to be found. And I saw him on the guy's shelf, and I asked him, because this is the first figure. I said, how much do you have on this one? And he said, that one is 30. And I said, pick him up, bring him here, because he's going home with me for $30. Never thought I'd have this figure. Glad I got him. Can't wait to open him and put him on the shelf. He looks magnificent. $30. So the final thing I got from this guy, yes, I got a lot from this guy, just because the prices were so good, is a vehicle. I missed this at Target. It went on sale for, really cheap. I've been wanting this one, and he had it for $10. And this is, as you can see, the Joker Mobile from Batman the Animated Series. $10. He's coming home with me. My final stop for the night, after looking throughout the show, trying to, looking for things that personally I wanted from the vintage side, and not seeing what I was wanting anywhere, I went back to Spiro Toys and bought some more monkeys, because Spiro Toys, if you don't know, they make Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. They are just fantastic action figures. Fantastic action figures. From the packaging design, from the figure design, everything is cool. It's super kid friendly. The comic is actually pretty good if you go read that. And you can't have enough monkeys. You can't. So I picked up Tanger, who is a PowerCon exclusive from maybe 2 years ago. He's basically an homage to Beastman from He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. I think this is 2023. So this might be 2023. He is a hefty beast. Next up, I picked up Mr. Awa. I can't pronounce these names. Ahawa Kin. Kin. I don't know how do you say that, but this guy looks fantastic. Look at the colors of his armor. That blue really pops off of that. What kind of animal is he? He's like a leopardish, maybe. He's got leopard spots and stuff, so he's kind of like a leopard with that blue armor that really pops, and that cool whatever kind of weapon that is. That looks awesome. Very cool action figure. Now, I don't know if I told you the price on the first guy. I can't remember. He was around $50. These, I think, are $34 a piece, I believe. So yeah, these figures are $34, but still a great figure. Next up, we got Gladiator Pale. He is like the main character. Pale is like the hero of the story for Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. And as you can tell, just fantastic fantastic looking action figure. Here's his buddy Atreyu. Atreyu? I don't know how to pronounce these guys. Now this is an army builder, so I believe he was a little cheaper. He may have been like in the $30 range, not the $35 range. Don't quote me on that because honestly, I can't remember how much I spent on some of these guys. But this is the Feralist Stalker, just a regular army builder. So he's kind of generic. He comes with a couple of, like a head, a helmet, a couple of weapons here. Just a pretty cool, this is not actually a monkey. This is more like a cat, but pretty cool action figure. Now I did buy this. This is a box of armor, just random armor to put on some of these action figures, and this is more like the $12 range or $10 range, something like that. And you get like a couple of pieces of armor for the forearms, some armor for the shins, a shoulder pauldron or something like that. So it's a pretty cool loot crate kind of thing. And the final purchase was this Chinari Centurion, another army builder. Just looked kind of cool. I really wanted like a black type monkey because everything else was like browns and grays. So I got some ideas about how to customize this with some different armor, and just happy to add this guy to the collection. All said, it was a massive haul. I think I did pretty good, especially with the McFarlane find. And I wish I could remember that guy's name. I'll try to find it and put it in the comments of the video if I can, or put it in the description if I can find the guy's name, because I really want to give him credit. He had some great deals. When I was talking to him, he was like, I got too much of this stuff. I ordered way too much. I'm just trying to cut my losses on some of these items. So I kind of understand where he's coming from. And in fact, on Instagram, I did post a picture. He did have, and I should have gotten this. If you look back here, he did have the first release Black Manta Superpowers from DC Direct / McFarlane Toys, the super expensive one, and he had him for $80, and that's like half of what he goes for on eBay. I thought about it. The next day I went back and he was already gone. Probably because I posted it on Instagram, somebody saw it, went and grabbed it. Guy had just absolutely crazy deals on DC products. And it was mostly DC. He had a couple of Transformers things, maybe a couple of Star Wars things. The majority of it was McFarlane DC Multiverse. And he had some like 1/6 scale third-party DC figures, like the Penguin from the recent Penguin show. So switching back to my final thoughts about Joelanta 2025. Again, it was one of my favorite shows. I had a great time. I'm super excited about Toylanta because that's the next convention on my roadmap, is going to Toylanta 2026 in February, March, April-ish, that time frame. Not really sure what the dates are on that one yet. I might hit up Retro Toy Con in November. I don't know, which is in Greenville, South Carolina. But it's not one of those shows where you have all the indie toy creators there. So you don't get to really see those guys. It's strictly like toy vendors, maybe some celeb autographs kind of thing. And most of those celebrity autographs are related to the toys themselves. Like maybe last year they had the X-Men from the X-Men animated series. They had the voice actors. And the year before, it was like the voice actors for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show from the 80s / 90s. It's that kind of vibe. And it's a little smaller thing, a lot more compact. And I think Ryan from Toy Federation, who kind of runs that show, wants it that way. And that's cool. But you don't have the toy creators there. You don't have the Spiro Toys, the Four Horsemen, or the Valaverses, or the companies like that. So I'm really looking forward to Toylanta 2026. But again, Joelanta 2025 was awesome. There were some awesome things there. I saw great dioramas. There's a guy just right out front before you even get into the ballroom where the main show floor was. There was a guy selling custom-made dioramas, which, in fact, that was another purchase. So this was one of the purchases I made from this guy, and I'll put his name in the show notes as well, because life of me is, all I remember was he was an Alabama fan because he was from Alabama. Ugh. It's hard being a Georgia fan and having to buy something from somebody from Alabama. But I did. This was like $80, but it's super nice. Look at the details on this. I mean, just a great great dio. It's made of foam board, and he does a great job. He had tons of these things, different like city streets and rocky formation, castle walls, things like that. Just a fantastic looking display of dioramas. The prices were pretty good. Something this size was like 80. He had something about half the size, which was 40, and he had some bigger things that were like 120. Definitely, if you see this guy, and like I said, I'll leave his name in the show notes, go check him out. If he's at a show, buy some of his stuff. He's a very talented guy. Like I said, the only complaint I have about Joelanta 2025 was the lighting in the room. In years past, you know, everything's lit up really well. It seemed like the lights were dimmer, and I'm assuming it's because it's a ballroom. And you know, when you go to these big convention centers and you're in a ballroom, the lights are typically a little bit dimmer, just because you have that dinner type atmosphere where the lights are a little bit lower. And I don't know if they could get them like that bright or whatever. And that's my real only critique of the show. And I don't know if, you know, maybe next year Joelanta's not even in the ballroom, is somewhere else. It could have been a scheduling conflict or something. I don't know. But, you know, hopefully we'll get a chance to interview the showrunner of Joelanta soon, and he can tell us all about that. Hint, hint. But definitely, if you are in the Atlanta area, Joelanta usually takes place in the fall, in September time frame. Definitely want to hit this one up. It's not, like I said, it's not a Toylanta. It's not like massive and huge and you got people just everywhere. It's a little bit smaller, a little more intimate, so to speak. It's still big. Don't get me wrong. It's still big. There's lots of vendors there. I don't know the amount. Gosh, I would be willing to say 80 or so toy vendors, maybe. If you count toy vendors, indie creators setting up, you know, booths to show off their stuff and sell some of their wares too. There's about 80 there, and that's quite a bit, you know. And not to speak, and there was panels there. There was panels about customizing. There was panels about the state of the hobby. There was panels about new upcoming indie creator toys coming out soon. Just a good time to be had if you're into action figures, if you're into toys, no matter if it's vintage, new, whatever. You need to come to one of these shows. And Joelanta just might be the show that you want to come to. Leave a comment below. Let me know which item you think is the coolest that I got, which one was the best deal. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. If you're not following me, check me out at DCCollectors.com each and every day for the latest DC Comics, action figure news, reviews, and commentary. Also check out independenttoys.news, the latest and greatest toy news from the independent toy scene. On Instagram, you can find me at DCCollectors. Same thing with X, DCCollectors, and Blue Sky, DCCollectors. If you're not a member of the McFarlane DC Multiverse group on Facebook, I highly suggest you come find us. We are 22,000, almost 23,000 members strong, and we have lots and lots of good conversation every single day. All right, folks. Have a great one. God bless.